Hello, welcome. My name is Michael Scheimer. I am a student in the edX Instructional Design and Technology MicroMasters program offered through UMUC, and for this unit, 300X is digital media and technology, and we are covering some digital media resources that are shareware, freeware, open source. I'm casting my screen as a demonstration here with the Screencast-o-Matic, which is a shareware, freeware resource. You can see here you can set up an account and you can cast your screen. So as a demonstration, I'm going to be going over Nearpod. It's an online interactive presentation system. So with that, I'm going to swap over here to Nearpod.com. This is a home screen. As you can see, I'm already established as a user, so it welcomes me. Welcome, Michael. And up here, I want to point out that you can enter a code. This is going to be important. I'll show you later. I'm going to use this particular tab as a student tab. And then when I click My Nearpod, it's going to open up a screen that looks like this. And you'll see it has my library. That's the part I'm going to go into right now. When I click on my library, it's going to open up my library of presentations. You can see I have some folders here, different topics: civics, introduction to social science, Nearpod training, world history. I am a K-12 educator, a teacher in Florida, and I have taught civics, which is middle school, introduction to social science, and world history for high school. But I'm also in the military, and the purpose of this demonstration here and presentation is going to be to show you how to present a typical PowerPoint style presentation and turn it into Nearpod for an interactive presentation. So I already have a slideshow here. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one and then start from scratch. So I'm deleting that, and I want to create a new presentation. So I'm going to click that here. It asks for a new lesson, and it's going to pull up a create screen. As you can see, I can create an entirely new presentation right here from this create function, adding a slide, adding all of the different elements that you can add to that. I'll just click on it real quick to show you. You can add content, web content, or an activity. I don't really have time to go over each of those. What I really want to show you is that you can take an existing presentation, which probably most of us have within our files, and turn it into a Nearpod fully interactive presentation. So you can drag and drop PowerPoint or PDF, but I'm just going to go ahead and upload one. So I have a presentation saved on my desktop. It's an Army G1. I'm also a soldier in the Army. So I have a presentation already created here that I pulled off of the Army G1 website. I'm going to double click on that, and then it's going to start doing its work here in the creation screen. It's going to process all of those slides from that existing presentation. So we're going to wait for that to happen here. Now this also is works with apps. It'll work with Android and iTunes, iPhone, and iPad apps. So I'm off screen here. I'm opening up my Nearpod app on my phone, and then, like I had said before, I kept this other screen tab open. I'll show you what that is. So right now, this system has created a Nearpod presentation out of that existing PowerPoint. I'm just going to go ahead and save and exit. I'm not going to add any activities, any additional slides or anything to this existing presentation. This is going to ask for me to save this, so I am going to I already created a title for this before. Now, again, this is designed mostly for K-12, but this is showing you how you can use it for any other resource, like mandatory training through corporate. I'm going to call this a professional development and other for subject, save and exit. Now it is going to go back to my library and show us this saved presentation. So, waiting for that to happen. You can see I already have another presentation I'm working on, and as I hover on that, you can see that it says live lesson or student pace. Live is just like it sounds, it's live, so you would be doing this in the classroom or in whatever environment that you're presenting in. Student paced is you can get a code and anybody can go in with that code and go through the presentation at their own pace. You can edit it, go back into that edit screen area and preview. So same thing exists for this presentation I just created. What we're going to do is go live. So I'm going to click on that. Now this is the teacher tab or screen, and it gives me a 5-letter code. This is AILNC. AILNC. So I could obviously email that, share it, create a link for it. It's linked with Google Classroom as well. But AILNC, I'm going to go back over here and just enter that code, AILNC, and hit the arrow. Now, off screen here, also on my phone, I'm doing the exact same thing. AILNC, and I'm going to submit that. Now, as I'm logged into my account, it sees me as logged in, so I'm just going to create a fictitious student here. Student 1 on this tab, and then on my phone, I'm going to put in student 2 and go with that. And then you can see, so on this tab, if this was a different device, somebody in the audience with their own laptop or with their Android phone or iPhone or iPad, anything that's online, they would see this slide, and I see that also on my phone. So now I'm going to go back to the presenters screen, and you can see I see here that there are 2 students. So student 1 and student 2 are interacting in the presentation. So as I hit the next slide arrow, that changes over not just for me, the presenter, and I can have this presenting in a typical fashion on a screen, but it also switches over on those logged in student devices. So they see that we're on that screen. So this slide deck goes into that next slide, then another slide, and then we come to learning objectives. Now let's say, because this presentation, of course, was just a PowerPoint presentation, no interactivity to it, I want to add an activity to make this now interactive. I can add web content. I can add an open-ended question. So let's add an open-ended question. I'll say something like, what are your thoughts? And share that. Now I could add an image to go along with this activity, but let's just share that right now. And so I see that I'm waiting on answers from my 2 students. So when I'm over here as student 1, I can say, I think this is a great presentation, and send that. Alright, so on the student screen, they're going to see that. Now they can continue to edit their answer if they wanted to. On my phone, I'm going to just say nothing more for student 2 here and hit send. And it says basically the same thing on the app. Just waiting on the teacher now. Now as for the teacher, I can see these 2 student responses, and I can share them. I can share them on the main presentation. I can hide their names if I want, so that I'm only sharing their answer and not who they are, if I want to keep it anonymous like that. And we can continue this discussion. Now I can close this activity, and we will move right back into the existing presentation. So back on the student screen, they see it swap back over to the presentation. I'm back on the teacher screen, and we'll just continue to go through. And so this is a great way. Now it always shows the code up here in case somebody needs to log back in. But this is a great way to show or how to create an online presentation. So I have some additional, now these are premium features if you pay for the subscription to it. Let me just add some web content here. Let me try just about anything. I've already opened up a few tabs, so what about some national, let's see, if I, the teacher, want to go look up something, national statistics for suicide. And let's say this is creating on the fly. Let's say I want to add that tab right there, or this information. I copy this link address, go back into here, paste that in to here, share it, and you will see it share this information. Click here to open the web page. Now on their device, this is exactly what they'll be able to see. And they can look at the information here. Some statistics and tables. Okay, let me swap back over to my, close this tab out. And again, I've added a activity, and I can close this activity, and we can go right back into the presentation. So anyhow, that is my quick overview of Nearpod and using Screencast-o-Matic as a way of creating this presentation for this week's unit. Alright, thanks for your time. Have a good one.